Today, Philly Boy J is going to be showing you guys how to make cheesy scalloped potatoes. What you're going to do first is get a big bowl and fill it up with cold water. We're going to peel the skin off of 5 to 6 medium-sized potatoes. And we're going to place the potatoes in the bowl of water so that they don't turn brown. We're going to slice the potatoes down. And you don't want them to be extremely thick or thin, but you do want them to be on the thinner side. About 1/8 inch thick. Just like that. Afterwards, we're going to take our potatoes and we're going to place them in a bowl of water. And we're just going to allow them to sit and soak in that water until we're ready to cook them and add them to the baking pan. Okay? Look at how nice and clean and white those white potatoes look. I recommend that you use russets or Yukon Gold. To me, they taste the best. You're going to get a small pot and you're going to place it over medium heat. Into the pot, we're going to add 3 tablespoons of butter. While the butter is melting, we're going to slice up a half of small onion into really small pieces, like that right there. Then we're going to add the chopped up onions to the pot of melted butter. Give it a nice stir. And to the butter and onions, we're going to add about 3 tablespoons of flour. And you want to stir that in until the flour is no longer white, until it changes in color. Because you don't want that raw flour taste in your cheese sauce. Okay? Now we're going to add carnation milk. That's about 3.5 cups of carnation milk. Going to give that a stir, smooth everything out. We're going to add 1 bay leaf to the pot. Going to give it another stir. And now we're going to begin adding our seasoning. I'm going to add about 2 teaspoons of salt. Okay? The other seasonings that we're going to add are black pepper, about 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. I like to add 1/2 teaspoon of paprika. And here is our shredded Parmesan cheese. Oh, I love shredded Parmesan cheese. We're going to use more shredded Parmesan cheese than shredded cheddar cheese. So use about 1 cup to 1.5 cups of shredded Parmesan and about just 1/2 cup of shredded cheddar. We're going to give this a nice stir. And we're going to cut the fire off because we don't want this to be extremely thick. We want it to be a little loose. If you find that your cheese is too thick, you can add a little more milk to loosen it up. You want it to be about that consistency right there. Then we're going to remove the bay leaf at this point. Okay, so that's our cheese sauce. Now what I do sometimes is I just add Parmesan cheese to my cheese sauce and I just sprinkle the top of the cheesy scalloped potatoes with the shredded cheddar cheese. Okay, you can use whatever kind of cheese you want, but Parmesan cheese tastes the best with scalloped potatoes to me. We're going to drain our potatoes. We're going to get a baking pan. And what we're going to add to the baking pan first, at the bottom, I'm going to create like a bed here. is we're going to add some of the cream cheese, spread it all out like that. Then we're going to add our first layer of potatoes. Kind of space them out. They can touch each other just a little bit, but you don't want them to be like right directly on top of each other. Okay, so that's our first layer. Then you're going to add your cheese sauce again. Okay, and make sure that the potatoes are fully covered in cheese, just like that right there. That's some good cheese sauce. We're going to add our second layer of potatoes, and look how white they are. I had to learn the hard way. Make sure that you allow your potatoes to sit in water so they don't turn brown. I hate that brown color on potatoes. So unattractive. And we're going to cover the second layer with more cheese. And you can keep going and going and going and going and going, depending on how big your baking pan is and depending on how many potatoes you're making. We're going to top the potatoes with the shredded cheddar cheese. Sometimes I use like spicy hot cheese. I'm gonna be a little fancy or want to try something new. I add some hot cheese, and I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of parsley flakes on the top for decorative purposes. And you're going to cover this with aluminum foil, and you're going to bake it for about 45 minutes in the oven on 350 degrees, because you want your potatoes to be nice and tender like this. Once your potatoes are tender like this, you're going to bake it again for about another, I would say, 25 minutes or until it's brown on top. Okay, you want the top to kind of brown a little bit. And 20 to 25 minutes later, this is the way it came out looking. I like mine's pretty brown. Not burnt, but I like mine's to be nice and brown like that. And I like my cheese to stiffen up. These are my cheesy scalloped potatoes. I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. If you need to add a little more seasoning, you can do so. But I don't like to add too much salt at first because you can't undo it. Okay? Look at that. Oh, my ghetto paper plate. Cheesy scalloped potatoes. I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. Philly Boy J. Peace.